Welcome to the League of the Lone Eye, my friend. Not to minimize the pain of Volo's poking and prodding, but I promise, you'll be used to the prosthesis in no time. Besides, I find it gives one an air of mystique. No one's more intriguing than a man with one eye. I think that unknowable powers come with unknowable consequences. I can't say I'm not curious. But once you take an Illithid by the talon, there's no telling how deep into the abyss it might drag you. I appreciate where you're coming from, but these parasites are quite literally Illithid weapons of war.
Come on, then. Don't leave me in suspense. How are you feeling? No errant tentacles? No sudden cravings for a more cerebral diet? Replete with ribaldry as always. Well, you could provide no better proof that you are not, in fact, about to turn into a mind flare. Famously humorless Illithids. Itself to levity. Was there another matter you wish to discuss? Ah, yes. Karsus. Karsus was perhaps the most powerful wizard that ever lived. The child who would... And he tried. With a spell of his own devising, he endeavored to usurp in one fell... Mistral, she was called then. Imagine what it must have felt like. To be a god. To know yourself, to be untouchable. To be mistaken. As Karsus aimed his spell at her, she began to unravel. And too late did he realize what he had unleashed. It would have been the end of everything had not Mistral sacrificed herself. It was the end of Mistral. The end of Karsus. As the child who would be a god was turned to stone, his empire came crashing down, an event that came to be known as Karsus's folly. Loving them has its side effects. Now, so many centuries later, I try to follow in the footsteps of Karsus. Not to destroy Mystra, but to prove my love for her. I tried to control only a fraction of the magic that was unleashed that fateful day. I merely sought to return one tiny diamond to an imperfect crown. Gale's folly, one might call it. History, repetition. It's the way things go. If it should ever come to that, if I ever know I am no longer able... I promise I will not betray your trust. If worst comes to worst, I will be long gone before the curtain.
There you are. I was just thinking about you. And that delicious moment we shared the very same. I've had this in all these years, I've only ever fed on beasts. You were delectable. And now I can't help but wonder how the others taste. Don't worry. There's enough of me. I don't think they'd volunteer. Take Gale, for example. He's struck, but Shadowheart. I have no idea. How do you think our little enigma would take? Oh, Well, that sounds very appealing. I'm almost convinced. Relax. So, in the spirit of theoretical questions, if you had to take a bite from one of them, who would it be? Oh, I'm flattered. Who knew you had such taste? Unfortunately, all this talk is getting me hungry. I better... Nothing out there will taste as good as the... Yes? It's simple. Just find a vampire that, in theory, the next step is to drink their blood. Once you've done that, you're free. And yes and no. The problem is, once you're a vampire spawn, they can... And why would they do that? Vampires are power-hungry... Trust me, it doesn't happen. Why do you insist on exhuming? I was a slave. Perhaps I still am. But now, I've been conveniently lost. I've already apologized. Unless you're looking for another nibble. Maybe. But there won't be any more midnight surprises. I can... My sweet, I'll come to you tonight. When you... And this time, later on, when we are at rest, I will eat you right up.
Something's wrong. I feel... It's difficult for me to talk about. I'm sorry. Please, it's nothing. Just let it rest.
It was bad enough having just one of those tadpoles forced upon us. I can scarcely believe you actually inflicted another on yourself.
You won't find a more learned opinion on this matter, I assure you.
Volo carefully holds one of your eyes open and begins to prod uncertainly with the needle. The needle finds the gap between eyeball and socket. Volo frowns and begins to push. Pain shoots through your body as the needle snags on your optic nerve.
I think I have it!
The needle seesaws back and forth, plucking the nerve like a harp string.
Oh, bother. There's some obstacle in the way. I shall need a more robust implement.
Volo carefully withdraws the needle from your eye. Then, reaching into his bag, he produces an ice pick. Volo slowly brings the ice pick closer to your eye.
Now, don't move.
Cold metal presses against the skin beneath your brow. And then, tap, tap, stab.
Do you feel that? Ha! I think we have the blighter on the run. I agree. It's a feisty critter. Just a little further.
Volo tears the pick from your brain with a violent jerk. Your eye plops down into the mud.
Drat!
He pauses, looks down at your eye, and recoils slightly as it sinks into the mud.
There appears to be an amount of cosmetic damage. Please, try not to overexert yourself. You're in a rather fragile state at present. I can't help but feel partly responsible. Perhaps there is something more I can do. Take this. A far superior relic to that old jelly you were chained to. Try it on for size. And, it was very nice to have met you. I'm sure you'll sort out your little brain problem one way or another. Far away from here, if you've a heart. Terribly sorry, my friend. Ta.
It was bad enough having just one of those tadpoles forced upon us. I can scarcely believe you actually inflicted another on yourself.
Something's wrong. I feel... it hurts. Darkness, protect me. It's difficult for me to talk about. I'm sorry. Please.
Welcome to the League of the Lone Eye, my friend. Not to minimize the pain of Volo's poking and prodding, but I promise, you'll be used to the prosthesis in no time. Besides, I find it gives one an air of mystique. No one's more intriguing than a man with one eye. I think that I can't say I'm not curious. But once you've taken a Illithid by the talon, there's no telling how deep into the abyss it might drag you. I appreciate where you're coming from, but these parasites are quite literally Illithid weapons.
There you are. I was just thinking about you. The very same. I've had this condition for 2 centuries, but in all these years, I've only ever fed on beasts, drinking the blood of thinking you were delectable. And now I can't help but wonder how the others taste. Don't worry. There's enough of me to go around. I'm a man of tremendous appetites. I don't think they'd volunteer, of course. But it doesn't make me any less curious. Take Gale, for example. He strikes me as someone whose blood is but Shadowheart. I have no idea. How do you think our little enigma would taste? Oh. Well, that sounds very appealing. I'm almost convinced. Absolutely. A mere thought experiment. So, in the spirit of theoretical questions, if you... Oh. I'm flattered. Who knew you had such taste? Unfortunately, all this talk is getting me hungry. I better find something I can... Nothing out there will taste as good as the alternatives. But I'll make do. Sweet dream. Need something? It's simple. Just find a vampire that will drink your blood and turn you into a vampire spawn. Their obedient puppet. In theory, the next step is to drink their blood. Once you've done that, you're free. And a true vampire. Yes and no. The problem is, once you're a vampire spawn, they completely... And why would they do that? Vampires are power-hungry creatures. They won't lose a servant to create a competitor. Trust me, it doesn't happen. I've already apologized. Unless you're looking for another nibble. Maybe. But there won't be any more midnight surprises. I can promise you that. My sweet, there is nothing. I'll come to you tonight. When you're snugly wrapped in your bedroll, and we can have a little privacy. And this time, I'll make sure I'm quiet. We don't want to disturb your rest. Later on, when we are at rest, I will eat you right up. Just enough to give me strength, and just enough to leave you wishing for more.
I promised I'd be back. Don't worry. I have things under control. For now. You haven't been using the parasite's power. You think you don't need it. But things haven't gone as you expected. You hoped a druid as powerful as Halsin might be able to remove your tadpole. But he couldn't. You're desperate to be rid of it. Understandable. But you're looking for solutions in the wrong places. Yes. Halsin is correct. Your parasite is unusual. It is wrapped in magic that prevents its removal. Until the source of the tadpole's magic is destroyed, any attempt to remove it will kill you. You were lucky that Halsin knew this. His instincts are right. The parasites are merely a symptom of a greater sickness in Faerun. It imbues the parasite with special powers, some that benefit, but most importantly, it enables the host, the infected, hear the voice of the Absolute and believe it to be a god. That is how the cult of the Absolute is spreading. The highest of their rank, the True Souls, carry a tadpole just like yours. It is when the order to transform is given, it will not be a matter of days. They will be mind flayers in an instant. Were it not for my protection, so would you. Because I am just like you, and I need an ally. Just like you, I was infected with a mind flayer parasite. Just like you, I seek to be free of it. I've been trying to escape from this evil for a long time. Once, I almost succeeded. Now, through you, I've been given a new chance. You can go where I cannot, and I can protect you from that evil. If we work together, we may turn this around. Hells, they need me. I have to go. The power I used to protect you, I stole it from someone. They want it back. I will hold them off for as long as I can, but sooner or later I will be worn down. You must discover the source of the magic that controls the parasites before that happens. Follow the cultists' trail. They will lead you to their masters. Use the powers your parasite gives you to convince them you are one of them. And when you find the source of their magic, destroy it. Go. Up.
Fate spins along as it should. Dost thou require a new ally? Or mayhaps a resurrection instead? That is where I was housed, yes. And thou needst not know why. There are many answers to that question. None are important. No.
The goblins will be out for blood after what happened at the Grove.
Shouldn't be too much trouble. There'll be plenty of bark, but little bite left with their leadership gone.
Let's not down here.
Breathe deep.
and move.
A log? How tempting.
Let's move. Come on, open up.
Lost in thought.
Time to push my luck again.
The lance board is set.
Sometimes the only way out is through. What path lies before me?
Let's have a little fun.
Heading there.
can't always be a gentleman. Rook to queen 6. Best be on my way.
Absolute blessings!
Death is but a word away. Nothing important is ever easy. With haste. Well, so much for peace. can't live my life without you.
Swords meet sorcery.
Need to stay focused. Can't afford casualties now. Take you! Heading there.
Gone with the weave. Good move.
What now? Can't slow down.
Got to move.